You rock, my friends. You Rock podcast is for women like you who want to own your life and live an engaged and joyful life. Hosted by Dr. Aliyah Majid, mom of 3, devoted wife, and a scientist-turned-life coach on a mission to empower women to take control of their lives. In this podcast, we deliver tools, insights, and inspiration on rocking your own life, owning to your highest potential, and becoming the best version of you. Now, here's your host, Dr. Aliyah Majid.
The more we invest in our happiness, the more productive we become. And the more focused we get, the more creative we become, and we become overall productive. Assalamualaikum, and welcome back again to You Rock podcast for ambitious women like you who wants to go after the life of your dream. Okay, in this episode, I'll be sharing with you guys on why investing in happiness increase productivity and creativity. So, before we get into the why, it's worth noting that you're likely to find yourself feeling happier simply by being more productive in your life, by just crashing the things that you want to do in your day-to-day life and making sure that you have that things done. You know, we have a sense of fulfillment when we kind of move and make progress in the work that we want to do, especially mainly because the work that we do are moving us forward in the direction that we want, in the goal that we want, in the purpose that we want to serve. Okay, so today I'll be sharing on the dark side of productivity, because sometimes we thought that being productive is making sure that you hustle 24/7, making sure that you sort of, get it done. All the things that in your to-do list, you want to get it all clear before you even take a leave for yourself, even before you take a vacation for yourself. So there's nothing wrong with getting all things done before, ending the week, getting that break and really making sure that all the things that are important, you have get it done. But what I'm saying right now is the culture that we sort of getting into right now, that I see more often than ever, that people prioritize work over getting more joyful, joy in their life and spending quality time with their family. So I'm not opposing on really getting down and work your work hard for getting the things that you want. There's a better way to do it by working smarter. Smarter way to do it is by working from the purpose, meaning that getting to know what is the main direction, what is the goal that you want to achieve. At the end of the day, you are the one who's taking care of your own self. So if you are working harder and harder and not getting enough of downtime to recharge, to have some time so that you'll be able to come back stronger and be more creative after having this energy recharge, it's just not worth it. It's just not the life that you want to pursue, at least for several years. If you're into pushing into, sometimes we have that big goal that you want to achieve in a short term. Like, I give you an example, like during my PhD time, I know that I want to focus on that 3 years and really pushing it. However, I must be honest that even though I push myself to work really hard and focus during that 3 years, I want to be honest that I never ever take work back home for the weekend. So the thing is that I still believe that in order for me to be more productive, to increase my efficiency and to perform better in my research work and in anything that I'm doing at that time, I know that I have to take time for myself and really recharge and not feel guilty of taking that time off. So the question from me to you guys is that, when was the last time you take that leave? When was the last time that you you just take on the leave that you have long not taken, just because you have so many workload in front of you. Okay. I realize this more than ever when talking to more and more women out there, that even though they have like 25, 30 annual leave a year, but most of the people that I talk to, it's hard for them to take that leave, even though they have that, that's the right to just take a leave. Even though they might have taken that leave, they also might feel guilty for putting the thing that they are working on hold for a while. So that culture must be, we have to put a stop in this kind of culture and the mentality that you have to really work hard and no play at all, no rest at all, no recharging at all. So up till what point? So ask yourself, do you want to live this life forever and ever? So investing in our own happiness, okay, by recharging, it is also one of the way for us to invest in our own happiness. Again, you'll be much more positive when you take time for yourself and be more productive afterward. Research has also shown that if you intentionally let your mind wanders and take that break, explore new things, you will able to unwind, and you'll have lower stress level. I think most of you guys out there already know that, but honestly it is harder to implement it, right? So why exactly does investing in happiness foster productivity and creativity? So I'm referring to this book called Hyper Focus by Chris Bailey. So it's a really good book that I often refer to again and again, because it's just a practical guide to managing your attention and become more creative, getting stuff done, and live more meaningful life. So if I'll be posting the link in the show note below for this resource, this book, in case you want to buy it and have it in your hand. But in this book, the author mentioned that investing in happiness foster productivity and creativity by first and most importantly, a positive mood expands the size of your attentional space. So when you're happy, the amount of dopamine in the logical part of your brain rises, which leads you to approach your work with more energy. And because you have more attentional space to work with, you have the resources you need to focus more deeply and accomplish more. So being in a good mood also makes you better at recalling information on the go. If you have a good mood, you can consume information more actively. The happier you are, the more likely you are to put ideas together in new and interesting ways, and the better you're able to overcome the challenges that you are facing and see new opportunities and uses the new way to overcome, to solve the familiar things. Okay. On the other hand, if you are in a negative mood, it shrinks the size of your attentional space. So unhappy people are less productive. The less happy you are, the more often your mind wanders against your will, and the less attention you bring to what's in front of you. So it's like you'll start to, your mind start to wander in the distant past, ruminating on events that took place. And the thing is, it is sometimes, it can be benefits to reflect and reliving the past experiences. And this is a good thing to do, meaning that reflecting and learning from the past. But if you stay there longer than you should do, your productivity might suffer, because when your mind wanders more and more to the past, you plan for the future less often and assemble fewer productive ideas. So there's this effect that is called the ZGarlic Effect. So I'm not sure if I pronounce it right. The ZGarlic Effect. So which keeps unresolved problem front of mind. So it forces you to think of them more often. So if you wonder too much at the past, you'll feel more miserable because you will be dealing with more unresolved problems that sometimes in order for you to resolve it is to move and take courageous action, take action and find new, better ways, new, creative ways to solve the problem instead of ruminating of the past. So people who are unhappy takes longer to refocus after interruption and dwell more often on their failures. And there's one study that shows that the habits that such as mindfulness and meditation effective in reducing relapse in recovering depressive individuals. So this is a study that was mentioned in this book that I mentioned just now. So while there is little research on exactly to what degree your attentional space expands when you're happy, happiness expert and Harvard-trained psychologist Sean Acker found that happier people are 31% more productive than those in a negative or neutral state. Okay, so that's another reason why you should increase your happiness and invest in getting that mood lifted, right? So you might ask me, okay, now I know I want to be more happier. It's important for me to be more happier, but my life is such a kind of miserable right now. I'm really busy. I don't know what to do. You might feel like that. And I understand you because I was miserable at times. The past, I might say, my past job, I don't really enjoy. So, okay, to be honest, the thing that I've done in the past makes me really miserable, and I was having kind of like a mild depression because of it. I don't feel joy. I thought that if I work hard, I will do, getting all the things done and not really spending time for myself. I thought that was the way to go. But until a point that I was feeling burnt out, I feel that I cannot produce a good job doing things that, mistakes and things that saying things that I've started to regret about. So that's when I feel like some things need to change, and I have learned since then on how to, even though we are facing a really overwhelming situation, really challenging situation, even during this time, how can we ingrain more happiness into our life? Okay, so Sean Acker, the author that I mentioned just now, the author of The Happiness Advantage, in the book and in his TED Talk, offers a few science-backed strategies to bolster your happiness. And a few of his top suggestion is this. So number one is recalling 3 things you are grateful for at the end of each day. Okay, so this is something that is really easy to do. Creating your own gratitude journal, putting it at the side of your bed, and starting to make it a habit to jot down the 3 things that you are grateful for at the end of the day. So sometimes when we are in that bad mood, in that overwhelming situation with the work that we are facing, we've often forgot the things that happen to us that we are really grateful for. It can be as simple as, having the time to sip on the hot coffee. I was really grateful to have time to really sip on my coffee and having a really good quality coffee. That's really important for me. I'm grateful for that. And that was what's in my gratitude journal for, I think, when I started to do that, I can only see that, I can only see that the coffee is the thing that sparks my joy. The things that I'm really grateful for is that. And then when you practice doing this every day, you start to realize, there's so many things that you take for granted. Things like, today my husband helped me to fold the laundry. I'm really grateful for that. And for example, today my son helped me to mop the floor. I'm really grateful for that. So we are what we put our attention to. So if you will start to put your attention on these small things that you are grateful for, you start to have a more positive outlook towards life, and you'll increase your happiness level. So that's what we are aiming for. When you have increased happiness level, you can increase your productivity, and in turn, you'll be much more, feeling successful, because you start to have this like closed loop of reaction that produce the outcome that you want. Okay, so start with writing the 3 things that you are grateful for. The number 2 is journaling at the end of each day about one good experience that you had. Okay, so remember that we want to focus on the things that is more of a good thing right now. So instead of dwelling over things that just doesn't work and putting more, making it bigger than it seems, maybe you can journal on the things the good experiences that you had throughout the day. And if you feel like you are a beginner in journaling, I have also compiled a journaling guide that you can download in the show note below, that I compiled 20 of the journal prompts that I use. I have used it, and I found it beneficial, and I have also give my clients to do it, and it gives so much, it creates so much impact in kind of a easy way to do. Honestly, if you start journaling now, it will help your overall wellness. Your mental health will improve over time, and this is one habit that I really recommend for everybody to start. No matter what age, you can start now. It's not something that only the high school kids do it, It's not like that. It is something that is really important, because it has some benefit. It has really big benefit for your mind, so that the things that is bothering you, or things that is, you want to focus more on, you can have some place to put it down, which is on your journal. So check out the journaling guide that I'll be, posting in the show note, so that you can learn on what are the journaling prompts that I love, and you can choose whichever prompts that's suitable for you, and start your journaling journey together with me. Yeah, the next one will be meditating. So, of course, meditating in Islam, we also have practice like things like zikir, and I'm not really saying that there's one way to do it. There's so many ways to do it, but what it means by meditating is like having a time for yourself and taking a deep breath and focusing on bringing your awareness to the present moment. Okay, so that is what's most important in meditation. So for example, I just be honest right now, right? For example, some people might have gone through like the practices of zikir, but sometimes when they zikir, it's just in the mouth and not really being present and be connected with whatever the experience. So it doesn't bring that more fulfillment. It doesn't bring that connection that you really want to seek. So try to bring the awareness to your own self first. Okay, start with breathing. Focus on your breathing, and then start from there. Okay. So there's so many breathing exercises and meditation, even the Islamic meditation part that you can find in YouTube, that is really beneficial for you to start. So this can really help you to bring more happiness in your life. Okay, the last time when I gave a talk to the UTP students, I think it was like last month in May. So I mentioned to them that one of the things that I really learned during my time in Japan, because people keep asking me how do I do all these things, I keep mentioning to people that it's not how you do it, it's about how can you overcome the stress, how can you overcome the overwhelming challenges that you are facing. So it's not like getting more and more things done and how can I get more things done. It's about how can I overcome it? How can I during challenging moment, how can I unburden myself so that by doing that, I can come back better and produce a more better result. So that's the thing that I'm imparting. That's the thing that the message that I want to give to you guys all this while, that it's not about doing more and more and more. It's about thinking what are the biggest things that move the needle and focusing on that. And your quality of life, your wellness is the priority, because without that, what's the point of you climbing the ladder that you are climbing? What's the point of you, trying to, generate more money, but you are feeling miserable? So think about that, right? The last suggestion for improving your happiness is to perform a random act of kindness. So it is quite easy to do this, especially if you are meeting people a lot. You can help people a lot, but sometimes if you are the person who is like me, who are working at home alone, maybe it is quite hard for you to, perform a random act of kindness. So maybe that's why I love doing this podcast, because that's my random act of kindness for you guys, for these listeners here. But find a way on how you can do that. Okay, find a way on how you can do that. Even though you don't meet somebody, you can still perform the random act of kindness. Whatever it may be that you feel like you are able to perform it, you just do it, right? Okay, I think that's all for today's episode. And remember, I'll be conducting a mini workshop, a live webinar on the 19th of June that is called Designing Your Ideal Week. I really hope to see you guys there, because in the 2-hour webinar, I'll be sharing the complete breakdown of how to plan your week effectively. So remember, it's not just about, putting all your to-do lists into your schedule and cramming all up. It's not about that. It's about really making your plan more effectively so that you can achieve your goal more effortlessly. And second thing that I'll be sharing during the webinar is the pitfalls of high performing women that I see oftentimes and how you can overcome them. And thirdly is the tools that I get my clients and I, do it. It kind of helps us to get more calmer and, from overwhelmed to being empowered really quickly. So it needs this step-by-step approach that I'll be sharing with you guys on these 2-hour webinars. So I really hope to see you there. So that's all. Remember guys, to start your day with intention, love what you do, and end your day with gratitude. I'll see you next week. Assalamualaikum. Are you struggling to find time for yourself or for things that matters to you? Or if you even ever find some time, you found that you can't simply slow down and stop thinking about work. If you are one of those women, you'll benefit from the Success Accelerator program, my 12 weeks one-on-one success and productivity coaching program that helps you to do less and get more work done so that you can spend more time doing things you love. Book a free call with me at draliamajid.com/coaching, or you can do a self-assessment using my free life audit workbook at draliamajid.com/life audit. Or you can even join my Facebook group from the link below. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.